Do you think this is a way of softening the reality to the public? When NASA finally admits that they never made it to the moon? So they'd have these little movies in there making fun of it, just to soften the effect if they actually come out and say, no, we actually never went to the moon. Because they're just quiet. Everybody else has an opinion. NASA is just absolutely quiet.
Yeah, they are. They're not saying a thing. They're not doing anything.
And if they actually did it, if they actually went to the moon and they have this technology and none of it is an illusion and everything they claim they can do is an actual fact, then they would just come forward and say, here, we will show you. They can't do it. They can't even give us a decent image from space.
No, they can't.
Not a decent one of the Earth, not a decent one of the moon, nothing.
It's all CGI.
And just turn around and claim that Voyager, there's a fantasy in itself. Voyager 1 is up and active and it does even more than it ever did, right?
Yeah.
There was an article I was reading in it. Oh, it just found 300 objects in space. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it found these 300 objects, and it's sending details back on it, which it doesn't have the capability of doing, never had it to start with, and doesn't have any kind of power. And the reality is, if it was there, it would be sitting in at least minus 270 degrees Celsius. None of the equipment's going to work. The vacuum, you're out there, you're into toward the minus 17 to 19, right? Everything would cold welded itself together a long time ago. If it was actually there. That is the reality. The fact is, it's never been there. It probably landed in the Atlantic Ocean years ago, just after takeoff.
Because everything else landed in the Atlantic Ocean.
Right. And Bezos is the only one that can go find this stuff.
Well, so far he's the only one who's dragged anything out of the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
That's pretty amazing feat.
Yeah, it is. What is it, 14,000 feet down he found it?
3.5 miles, yeah.
Extraordinary. The ability to pull that out of the Atlantic.
And have no idea where it is.
No. Yeah, he got lucky with that. We did some calculation as to where the rocket would have gone, because we saw the flight of the rocket as it left the launch pad. So we knew roughly where it was. It's just a matter of patience waiting to find it.
If the object is 42 miles in the air when it starts to fall back down, you have no idea the actual distance it's still traveling. There's no flight path on the first stage. There's no way to ID it. There's no ping signal or anything else that they put out for it.
Oh, they got lucky. Same way they found the Titanic. It was about the same depth. They eventually found it, was it about 40 years ago? Most people do not have really too much of a problem with NASA faking the moon landings. That's not really the issue. Because if you accept that they faked the moon landings, and if NASA come out and say, well, sorry guys, we did it, we showed you what we showed you, but it was not real, we don't have a problem with that now. It's what else we've been lied to about that people have a real problem with. And that's why NASA can't front up. So they're going to dribble out these sort of stories like Fly Me to the Moon. There'll probably be other ones coming as well, the other amusing rom-coms, I think it's called, or funny movies. Oh, look, NASA faked the moon landings. Ha, 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 they'll say.
They'll probably put a series together on Netflix first.
Yeah, they probably will.
And have a whole series on fantasy spaceflight because there's a large viewing audience. Why not put one together?
Yeah.
It would be a successful series to put it out there.
Definitely.
And I mean, you could even throw in some of the 1960s sitcoms to go in there so that you've got I Dream of Jeannie content in there and Bewitched and all the other stuff that magically happens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You could make a hell of a series out of it.
Oh, you could. You could do very well out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think somebody's probably deciding that at the moment. Because if this film, Fly Me to the Moon, is successful, and I'll be interested to see how many people are in the audience and what the reactions are. Be interesting to see it.
Be interesting to ask some of them at the end.
I will certainly do that. I'm idiot enough to try. Somebody will probably go, whack.